moving your body like an ocean. You deserve love and devotion, even if just from yourself and God now. It doesn't feel okay, but you want more. You don't want to be needy, and you don't want to come to love indiscriminately with your whole heart and all of the love in it anymore. You have come to adore people that need you, want you. Put your emotional eggs in their basket. Now you threw the basket away and you don't want to play the game anymore. Nobody coming to you when you need help. And you tried to be vulnerable and that didn't help. You felt more unheard because then you poured out all of your emotions. And you started to understand why you were angry and had to defend because you were stronger than a lot of them. They couldn't help because they'd never been you. Most mental illness is simply a relationship between the abuser and the abused. Loins exposed, clothes sagging. She took every piece of me. She took my humanity. And she still plays the victim, and I've tried to understand here. I can't really. Had a hangover for 3 days from talking to her last Monday, and she wants me to call her, but she's not even on the other end of the phone. She's long gone. I do not know why she is this way, but having compassion for her takes my energy away. But you love her, don't you? She could die alone for all I care. I can't pretend she has not taken from me, that she hasn't been there. Living in fear around her, she always wants to be acknowledged. As childlike as most of her knowledge, she was not there when I graduated. She didn't want to see me go to college. As twisted as the dynamic is in this family, I can see it in their eyes, the lack of humanity. I expect them to change or acknowledge me no more. But I will not form cancers or sores on my own body trying to get relief for the pain I see. I will not choose those with a lack of dreams, mental abusers, manipulators, and thieves, stealing my heart away with their callousness and lack of care and telling me that I don't care, that I was born without empathy, if that is even a possibility. I will not have another child that I will be angry I brought into existence. I will not have another child out of happenstance. And I know that it is not all my fault now, that I am not the reason the chips did not fall, and I'm making peace with it all. Because don't you get the subtle feeling when someone helps you and gives you free food that they have never been in that position themselves, where they needed it too, and they don't want to, but they're looking down on you. But you are blessed because it was hard to ask for help, but you did it anyway. You typically don't like anyone to watch you eating or talking during because you are afraid they are going to take your food away. So you try to eat purposefully slow so they don't really see how much you need food and how hungry you are. The thing is, I constantly feel hungry and I don't know why. My ex-husband used it as another reason to make me cry. He had me hypnotized. I paid most of the bills and he spent his time berating me and making me feel like nothing. So the day he locked me out on a cold winter night, I went and sat between the glass doors of the administrative building. Called my dad on the phone, but he was a misogynist, so his place never really felt like home. His landlord charged me to stay while my brother freeloaded every day. There was nothing I could say. This was the start of having no money to live on and people just taking from me every chance they got. We had been living together 5 years at this point, my husband and I. I had paid the rent. My name was primary on the lease. I could have kicked him out, but I didn't know my rights. Slid my tiny hands through the crack in the door to unlock the chain. He said he would call the cops on me for breaking and entering and set me down for another talk about how wrong I'd been. I did not know it then, but I was primary on the lease. The police wouldn't have been able to do a thing. I was primary on the lease. This was my game. Always having to prove myself to this man. He would invalidate my thoughts and my feelings, my every action, as my mom had done. He blocked the door so I could not leave, probably 1,000 times. I was living in a horror show of prison, and it was not in my mind. My body and soul were his as far as he could surmise. He said he could tell when I didn't try. When we were no longer living together, I went and slept with another man. Went back to see him. He pushed me on the kitchen floor with one hand. I swore I would never see him again, but went back a time or 6 for good measure. Felt like I would have to leave the city to get better, to stop gravitating towards him or my father. But my father would have protected me and kept me safe, even if he thought a woman should be a slave. Some part of me believes that he saw my humanity, if only a piece of it, and he was supportive of my dreams, even if he thought children were a woman's highest duty, which I somewhat still believe. I just know there's a lot more to me than the capacity of childbearing, and it's not right to put that on somebody. I could not face my dad again. The fear and anger I felt. When on the phone he said, "Women just can't stay up all night. They just can't do it," and other absurd things like that. And even though I had essentially already proven him wrong to myself on nights long gone, memorizing facts, writing term papers, insomnia caused by hypervigilance, cold intolerance, poor nutrient absorption, I was poised again. This time I would prove him wrong for certain, becoming my own literal punching bag. I punished my mind and body. Never giving yourself a break to the extreme. I did it in high school too, wanting to relax, being so tired and not knowing how to turn off the ghost switch. Every time I went to sleep, I felt that I had sinned, waking up bleary-eyed worse than I had felt before bed. For what good had it done? And this was the same way with my son. But now I am the worthy one, even if my body forced a nervous system shutdown to get me to relax. I have started to understand that it's okay to put the torch into the water sometimes and let the cold water wash over you, and it is not a crime to take care of you.